Hi everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. It is Monday morning and I just have some observations to make. Even as the ESPN, the ESPY Awards, Pat Tillman Award, that controversy, even as it grows and all kinds of people are coming out against Prince Harry for receiving this award, the upcoming award in mid-July. I think it's in another week or so. Even Pat Tillman's mother has come out and said it should be going to somebody more hardworking, deserving, not someone so entitled and privileged as Harry. You know, then he's kind of, ESPN has doubled down and said, we're proud to be giving this award to, Harry. He's a war hero. His work with veterans, the Invictus Games, the whole thing. So we think he's deserving of it. And it's very interesting to see the way the British press and British newscasters, royal reporters and such are covering this, because it's very contradictory in terms, to be honest with you. There's an article in the Daily Mail online today, and they're talking about Harry being so out of touch with what's really going on and real people because of his privilege and everything, and him not being able to see what is wrong with him receiving this award, accepting this award, that he should step down, step aside, give it to somebody else, perhaps give it to an Invictus veteran, on behalf of Pat Tillman. It's like so many ways he could handle it, and it looks like, we know the reason why Harry and Meghan scoop up all the awards they can. They think it lends them some credibility. It doesn't. And over time, it's proven to just really show what kind of people they are. That, is just buying all these fake awards. It's their photo ops and favors done between talent agents, their representation. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. Let Harry and Meghan come to this event. We'll highlight your person. It's that kind of a thing, right? And this is why ESPN loves it, because all this controversy is probably guaranteeing that this time more people are going to tune in than ever, because they're going to want to see what goes on. But there's the controversy for you. Now, I read in the Daily Mail today, and it's they're going on about the issue and Harry being out of touch and all of this. And not only the Daily Mail, every royal reporter, every newspaper, periodical, media outlet, all the royal this and that podcasts from the different newscasts on TV, they always put a but in there. Like, he's been a shit to his family, to his country, to the Queen. He's everything from a trickster to a traitor and everything in between. He's an effing grifter, according to Spotify executive. Everybody will, badmouth him to a point, and then there's that however. We must laud him for his military service, quoting the Daily Mail, as a helicopter pilot. He never got his wings. He was not a pilot. At best, he was a gunner. I think he sat behind the pilot. The odd time he did get up in the air, most of the time he spent in the bunker, guarded by his own Gurkha regiment, protecting him amongst the other soldiers. He was a hindrance, he wasn't a help, and he wasn't a helicopter pilot. Yet, the Daily Mail However, we must laud him for his 2 tours of military service in which he served as a helicopter pilot. Absolutely wrong. That's the palace storefront dressing. That is the accepted narrative that they have built. They have carefully built a reputation for Harry, and one mustn't stray from it. The war hero, absolutely. Everybody mentions it, no matter how bad Harry behaves. But we must give him credit for his admirable services, and the myth goes on as well. Invictus Games, they do the same thing, even though they all know, and they all know about his military service, by the way. This is straight deference to the royal family, to the crown, not to embarrass the king. They'll keep the lie going. They do the same thing with Invictus. Invictus was never Harry's. Invictus was born out of the Warrior Games in the United States to give military veterans an outlet. That was the template that they used for the Invictus Games. And it was funded by the Palace and the Royal Foundation. It was set up, all the logistics sorted out by the Palace planners. It was a project to give Harry something to do, something credible and legitimate to do, whilst he was busy falling out of nightclubs and punching photographers. So, both big myths about Harry, that whether it is a royal reporter on one of the news channels or an online publication or other media, they continue with that myth. They continue to protect Harry. Now, whether it's because the king is telling them, protect Harry, don't, there's a moratorium on what you can say and what you can't say. You can only go so far. And, and we saw this same behavior by the press during the Diana years, Charles and Diana. I mean, everybody in the press knew by 1986 that the marriage had gone south. Everybody knew that all the appearances and everything else were just contrived for public consumption, that they had been living separate lives since, really just after Harry was born. But they kept up the game, they kept up the myth, they kept up the fairy tale until 1992, the Queen's Annus Horribilis, when everything blew apart. Camilla Gate tapes and Squidgy Gate and the books, and just then the story was out. The story was out. The fairy tale was dead. Everybody knew what was going on, and and that's what and we're on the cusp of that. I think the press and I think they all know what's really going on with Harry and Meghan. They all know. They know the real stories of Harry's career and how it all came about and what actually happened. And they've all got stories, I'm sure, that they are not allowed to speak of. And maybe one day we'll hear them. But it just blows my mind, while we're all trying to shine a light on the truth and what's really happening and the consequences of these things, the press itself is suppressing information, and that, well, they've done it forever. I've mentioned this in videos I don't know how many times. The press, along with the palace, working together to suppress information. We have seen that. You know, the palace tells you what they want to tell you. They show you what they want you to see, and they'll spin it to keep that going. And I mean, we've seen this in recent times since Christmas. The whole controversies about Catherine and her condition, the king as well, his cancer. Now we've recently had Princess Anne being injured, a concussion and a brain injury due to some encounter possibly with a horse. Injuries consistent with an encounter with a horse. I mean, that could be anything. That's ridiculous. She's got a head injury, which can mean 1,000 different things, the way that can manifest. And I've talked about that before as well. She's at home recuperating. What do we know? We know that's all we know. We know nothing because they don't want to let us know anything. That's just the way it is. And what they do want to let us know, what they do want to show us, what they want us to see, the Queen even said, seeing is believing. They show us what they want us to see. It's theater, folks. It always has been, always will be. And that's why it's difficult to ever come to some real truths about things. It's just the way it is when you're dealing with our royal family. Hope you like this. Have a great day, everybody. Leave me a comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.